it's Reija and welcome to another video. Just as I hinted at in the last video, today I'm going to share with you my top 5 best non-fiction reads of 2020. Without further ado, let's get started. So the reason that I wanted to do a separate video for non-fiction is because I tend to view and review non-fiction in a different way as opposed to fiction reads. For example, I look at educational merit. How well did the non-fiction work teach me about the topic, and how well did it portray the topic it was discussing? How well did it make me confront my own biases? Longevity, how much have I thought about the book after finishing it? And raising interest in the topic. Do I want to read more from that area? Do I want to read more from that topic and adjacent topics around it? And also style, how readable was it? So those are the aspects that I have been thinking about when I was compiling this list. So they are similar to the criteria that I had for my fiction reads, but you notice a few differences. So number 5 on my list is White Rage by Carol Anderson. This goes over the history of United States and looks at the reaction by the white population in the advancements gained by the black population of the United States after the emancipation and the end of slavery. And I really like this book. It, like Carol Anderson, comes with receipts. She really dives deep into historical records, and like if you are asking questions like, well, wait, how did this happen? She has like the historical records to back all of her claims up, and it was immensely readable. It was hard to read, but I also, because I was buddy reading it with Shannon, I had a lot of fun discussing it. This book is excellent for discussion. And if you want to know more about the history of the United States and also the racial politics and the racial divide of the United States, I think this is a must-read. Number 4 on my list is Beyond Trans, Does Gender Matter by Heath Fogg Davis. This book discusses the sex segregation of various areas, the sex segregation in sports, in public bathrooms, in public transit, etc. And it looks at those, it looks at the current situation, it looks at various different ways we as a society have tried to combat this. It looks at the hypocrisies and the It looks at ways in which these policies are kept alive, even though there are some like glaring errors and hypocrisies, and it does it in a way that doesn't persuade you to lean one way or the other. It just gives you the facts, and it just gives you the sort of thought exercises on possible answers and such. So I think that this is a very, like, if you're just interested in this topic and you have no horse in the race, in a manner of speaking, I think this is an excellent book to just get into the topic, because it is kind of, it tries to maintain a sort of neutrality. And that is, I think, very good if you are new and coming to this topic. I thought it was very interesting and excellent. I have gotten a few people to read it after I finished reading it myself. Number 3 on my list is Sorted, a transgender memoir by Jackson Bird. This is a memoir, it is very subjective, and I have a very hard time always rating memoirs because I don't want to... I want to rate them based on the topics and discussions they raise, but obviously I don't want to rate the person's experience. But I thought that this book was a very thorough exploration of Jackson Bird's gender exploration and his coming to his own in his like transgender journey, and also it was just super entertaining and funny, and I thought that it was even though it was discussing some serious and even hurtful times in Jackson Bird's life, I still thought that it was very upbeat and there was this sense of hopefulness and joy in it, in a sense. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Number 2 on my list is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson, and I really loved this book. This looks at the sort of intersections between being black and being queer, and being sort of non-gender conforming and being outside the gender binary. And it was just such an interesting read. I mean, I've heard people say that it reads a bit young and it's kind of like self-important in some ways, but I didn't feel that. I just felt that it was beautiful in its simplicity, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. I believe Luxurious Blue did a really good video on this book, and I will leave that linked in the description, because I just feel that I have nothing more to add that wasn't already said by him in a more profound way. This book was just excellent. And my number 1 non-fiction read in 2020 was In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. I have to admit, I have my own horse in the race, because this topic of abuse in queer relationships is something that hits home very hard for me. I related to a lot of Carmen Maria Machado's experiences, and the way she wrote about it and the way she did like media analysis and went very meta in exploring her own hurt. I just thought that this book was so well written, and like it wasn't easy to put this book down, and I went and reread a bunch of passages. Like, it's told in these vignettes, and it makes it endlessly rereadable, because you can just kind of dip in and dip out and choose passages which to read. And yeah, it was just wonderful. I made a full review of this book, and it's definitely one of my favorites and highly recommend it. And there you have it. Those were all of my favorite non-fiction reads of 2020. Tell me in the comments if you have read any of these, or if you would like to read any of these. I would very much like to know that. And leave me a leaf emoji down in the comments so that I know you were here. I will see you in another video very soon. Bye bye!